Goodness gracious. Yeah, that all happened last night. It was real, and the Bears are 11-4. Welcome on into the Bear Report Rapid Recap. I'm Steven Johnson. He is Zach Pearson. And Zach, I tell you what, for 58 minutes last night, it sure seemed like the Bears were headed towards 10-5 and having to fight for their playoff lives down the stretch against two very tough opponents. And then, whether or not you want to bring up some Denny Green, the Bears are who we thought they were. It sure seemed like that last night, and then all hell breaks loose, and the Bears pull off one of the most improbable comebacks of the last decade in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know who tweeted out, but I saw last night during the game, it was like, I've seen this Bears-Packers game at least 15 times from like 2007 to up to last year. And it was so true, man. The atmosphere was awesome at the start. Kind of felt like the Bears came out maybe a little too hyped up getting that penalty right away. But the crowd was into it. And then boom, by the second quarter, the crowd was deflated. You're like, how are they going to lose this game to this team without Jordan Love for, the second half? And, they just couldn't move the football. And then here we go. Final 4 minutes. They somehow, what'd you say it was? 99% chance or something like that?
99.1% chance. And according to Next Gen Stats, the probability before the onside kick, this was the fifth most improbable win in the Next Gen Stats era.
Oh, my goodness.
Any NFL game in the Next Gen Stats era.
That's incredible. Like, yeah, for it's crazy because they get down the field and they rush out the field goal unit before the 2 minute. And you're like, you got to get this off. Like, this has got to go before the 2 minutes to get the extra timeout. And they don't get it off, and it's 1:59. And you know what? That might have saved them because I think they would have kicked it deep if they would have got it off before the 2 minute warning.
I tell you what. Yeah, and it's funny because you listen to Caleb in the post game, and they said that Ben wanted to score before it got down to like 3 minutes. And here they are taking their sweet time, not even just the field goal attempt. You have DJ Moore kind of jogging back to the line of scrimmage, getting set for the illegal motion, not getting set. It just didn't seem like things were going to go the way that they ended up going. And obviously, because the odds were so low. But it seemed like the Bears, for the first time in that moment, looked like they were giving up almost, where they didn't take the time, they didn't rush, they didn't have that sense of urgency that we've seen for so many of these comebacks that they've been able to stage this year. And then one thing leads to another. And for a first half, that was the first half of football, and it was said multiple times on the broadcast, the first half of football for the Bears in 2025, that they didn't score at all. And we talked about how badly they came out in the first half the first time these two teams played, and then they do it again. And then you sit here thinking, what needs to change? And for whatever reason, we just had to wait 58 minutes for something to change, and then everything falls the Bears' way.
Yeah, I can see, man, why now it's 99.1%. They had the field goal, onside kick, 3rd and 4, 4th and 4. Green Bay takes the opening drive of overtime down the field. 3rd and 1, they get stopped. 4th and 1, bad snap. And then the Bears, take over. And that 3rd and 3 to Kyle Monungai, where they ran that counter or misdirection.
Yeah.
And he finds that hole. That very easily could have been blown up. And he finds the hole for 10, 15 yards. And it was almost even bigger play, but incredible, man. And it was just one of those games where you're sitting up there in the press box and you're like, I'm sure you're feeling it at home too. Like, what's going on? Like, how did they just win that game? And then you're in the locker room and you're just like around players and you're like, oh my God, like this, they're in shock a little bit. And they're like, this is crazy. And we were talking, before this, that has to be one of the top moments at Soldier Field. Top 5, top 4, 3 maybe.
Hands down. You look back to the big games that have occurred at Soldier Field. The two Mike Brown overtime interceptions really come to mind on back-to-back weeks against the Niners and the Browns. I just still am struggling to understand how they were able to do what they did, because they looked anemic for the longest time in that game last night. Even towards that last touchdown to Jade Walker before OT, it makes you wonder, like, where has everything been? The Packers sent the house. The Bears didn't look like they had any idea what was going on numerous occasions. Not just those two plays, but they did it a couple of other times. And all of a sudden, it's like the heavens opened, the light was seen, and the Bears looked like they figured out what they needed to do. I mean, just even looking down these stats, it is kind of eye-opening to what the Bears were able, to accomplish down the stretch. The fact that they scored 16 unanswered points in that game. Let's do a quick rundown here. Caleb Williams, 19 of 34, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. And again, I feel like a broken record saying this every single time we talk about Caleb Williams. No turnovers, no sacks. Just another incredible performance for taking care of the ball, knowing when to throw it away, knowing when to get it done. Just incredible for him. The running game, and Tom Brady said this last night, and it was interesting because it kind of worked that way in the script, where the running game was non-existent. They were getting bottled up, 2-3 yard carries. The fourth quarter comes along, overtime comes along, and then you have DeAndre Swift finishing 13 carries, 58 yards for a 4.5 clip. Kyle Monangai, 9 carries for 50 yards. That's a 5.5 clip. So the running game gets going. Caleb Williams with some key runs along the way as well to continue drives. He finished with just 3 carries for 30 yards. And then receiving, DJ Moore, 5 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. He has stepped it up when it has mattered most these last 2 weeks, with Luther Burden and Rome Odunze being out, and all of the questions that sat with DJ Moore following that first Packers game. 1 catch, -4 yards. And the critics have been silenced more than anything else, for as difficult as it has been to watch him battle these back injuries. And last night, Keyshawn Nixon, you can say what you want about that hit down the middle of the field away from the play. For him to come back and then get that touchdown against Keyshawn Nixon was just a chef's kiss to end the night for what DJ Moore was able to do.
Well, we talked about it last week. When Ben Johnson says stuff, you have to listen, because he was asked about getting DJ Moore involved. And, look who's getting more involved the last 2 weeks, DJ Moore. And it came at the right time without Luther Burden, without Rome Odunze. But yeah, what I noticed was they were getting real physical with DJ Moore. Like,
they were,
when he wasn't targeted, whether it was running, whether it was routes, they were putting hands on him. There was a play at the end, I think in the fourth quarter, Moore got knocked to the ground. He didn't like it. So I think that Packers secondary had a plan of just being physical with him. And you bring up the Keyshawn Nixon play. I have no idea how that's not a penalty. Just total blind, cheap shot there in the middle of the play. But then Nixon, and there's confusion at the end on the Jade Walker play. And Nixon's trying to get Jade Walker, and it's too late. And then he's not burned, but he gets beat by DJ Moore and draped all over him, and Moore makes the catch. And but yeah, hell of a game for DJ Moore, and he deserves it, man. He hasn't had a winning season since high school.
That is nuts.
Maryland never won, and the Panthers and the Bears. Yeah, crazy, man.
I know he was with the Panthers when the Panthers were not great.
Yeah.
So I totally understand that. That just has to feel so damn good for him, and knowing what this team has accomplished this year. And can you imagine, like, going that long? I mean, that's 10 years that he has gone without a winning record playing football, both in college and
Dude,
in the pros.
it's crazy. I mean, to keep your composure and go out there and like he doesn't sit out games, at the end of the year. He's not, not saying players have fake injuries, but when you get an injury at the end of the year and you're out of the playoff race, it's okay. I'm, probably gonna sit this game, but yeah, he doesn't do that, man. And
No.
He's been a professional this entire time. For whatever reason, the connection with Caleb Williams hasn't been working up until recent. And when it is working, you see how it can be. And I mean, that ball, I mean, we got to give props to Caleb Williams too. His two touchdown passes were ridiculous. Facing the blitz and being able to float that one to Jade Walker was crazy. And then just on the money to DJ Moore. Just it was all the stuff that Packers fans talked all week or the last couple of weeks about Caleb Williams. And yeah, he was 10 of 22 to start the game. They were struggling. There was 2 or 3 drops, I'd say.
Only Zacchaeus again.
Yeah, that was bad. A couple throwaways because of some pressure. But Caleb Williams to stand up there and deliver those throws while facing pressure and facing that moment. Prime time, national audience, NFC North in the lead, man. Just feels good. Like if it's like they got one. They got one.
Yeah, for sure. And with just the sense of relief, all things considered, I'm still in this like state of disbelief and knowing on top of the Bears having that grit to not give up and stage the comeback, we know a lot had to go a certain way on the flip side with the Packers. Obviously, let's go back to the Jordan Love concussion, hit, sack, roughing the passer. Austin Booker was straight trucking, ready to take down Jordan Love. There's been a lot of debate since that play as far as what type of play that was, whether it was dirty, whether it was clean, whether it should have been a penalty. You see Booker run in, lowers the helmet a little bit, but on the flip side, you watch Jordan Love, knees bent down, crouch, helmet down, and there's nothing you can do in a bang situation to stop that. Yeah. And it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, almost. And it's hard. Yes, the helmet's a helmet that's going to initiate it, but on the flip side, and really staring at it from the Bears standpoint, you kind of have to ask, like, what more can you do in that situation? Because Austin Booker, he wrapped him up. It wasn't like it was a full launch and it was helmet and nothing else.
Yeah.
And, it was immediate from the way that Jordan Love hit the ground. The helmet, kind of circa Aaron Rodgers a couple years ago against Arizona, you knew that he got his bell rung, that he was going to immediately be going in to concussion protocol to see what could be done. And then next thing you know it, he's out the rest of the game, which obviously changes things significantly. And I'll be honest, the Bears have a struggle against mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And Malik Willis being out there, I felt a lot less confident with Malik Willis out there than Jordan Love. Call me crazy, but the Bears don't do well against that style of QB.
Yeah, dude, they were not ready for Malik Willis. And
no, they weren't.
I mean, he was Malik Vick for a little bit there. Like he was escaping the pocket. There was one play, I think it was second down and like 8, and he runs from the right to the left, spins around. He pretty much looks like Caleb Williams, spins around, goes into the pocket, cuts back out, cuts again, and he's like first down. And you're like, wow. And I think he could play, man. I don't think he's as bad of a quarterback as we saw in Tennessee. No. I think Matt LaFleur deserves a lot of credit. I think Malik Willis deserves a lot of credit to go from the situation he was in to this. I mean, you got to give him props. But, yeah, the Jordan Love one, and I had Packers fans screaming at me in my mentions, like, it's a penalty. It's 100% a penalty. I understand that. I agree. It's going to get called. It's helmet to helmet. My argument is, what does Austin Booker do there? Like, yes, he could probably put his head up a little more, but you're asking an athlete running full speed to stop. And if he goes low, people are saying, well, just go low. If he goes low,
it's Tom Brady rule.
Yeah, he's going to get flagged. You hit him in the chest, that's okay. That 100% fine. But when the quarterback kind of dips his head down, it's a bad collision for both players. And it's hard. It's unavoidable too, because do you tell quarterbacks to just not put your head down to brace? I don't know, man. I get the body weight one too. I understand the body weight's a dumb rule, but it is the rule. It's 100% the rule. But I don't think it was dirty by any intentions. Austin Booker is not a dirty player. It's unfortunate because you never want to see a quarterback get hurt. You never want to see a player get hurt. But yeah, that one was tough. And again, it was a penalty. I agree. It should have been called, but I don't know. If a quarterback ducks his head, I just don't know what you're supposed to do.
The helmet to helmet was inevitable in that play specifically. It was going to happen whether he kept his head up or whether he lowered his helmet. That was going to happen for where he hit Jordan Love, and Jordan Love coming down to brace for impact himself. And, the question lately has been, does that become a reviewable play, kind of similar to how the college football game has turned it into a reviewable play for ejections? And knowing that, you need to factor in a couple things. And for as quick as the game is these days, is it something that you feel confident enough to where you can say, yep, that's it, no questions asked? And I think the answer right now is no. It was a penalty, but there have been so many other instances in the NFL this year where there have been those same calls of roughing the passer when it clearly has not been roughing the passer because of specific things occurring in that bang instance. And so, it sucked in that moment, and Jordan Love finishing 8 of 13 for 77 yards, no touchdowns. Malik Willis, 9 of 11 for 121 yards and a touchdown. And then on the ground, like you mentioned, 10 carries for 44 yards. So he had that impact on the ground. Emmanuel Wilson actually leading the team on the Packers side, 14 carries for 82 yards, 6 yards a carry, just short of that. And man, if it wasn't, I still don't understand why Josh Jacobs was active last night. It was clear he was not healthy. And if Emmanuel Wilson was the workhorse last night, I'm still not sure the Bears win, because he was running with a purpose last night, just running guys over, and the Bears did not have any answer for him at all. It was one of those question marks, and Josh Jacobs was essentially out the rest of the game following his fumble, which we haven't even gotten into the red zone conversations. The Bears, bend don't break. That was the key for the Bears. I tell you, there was again so many different paths that the game took, and you really didn't know what you were going to get until the clock was done and the Bears were ahead 22-16.
I mean, okay, so start the game, obviously the Bears get that stop. They go right down the field. They got all the momentum. They run that. They get to 3rd and 1. They run it. They're short. They get to 4th and 1, and they run that trick play. And I see what Ben Johnson was doing. But again, to me, that's a play you run up 10, up 13 later in the game. There's a couple things about that play. You have your tight end under center, and he's supposed to go through his legs, but you have Kyle Monangai, shorter running back, and it looked like he was lined up a little deeper. I don't know if you saw the play that was circulated on Twitter when they ran it with the Lions.
Yeah.
It looked like, the angle could have been bad, but it looked like Monangai was a little deeper, and it just sailed. And then I went through that play. I think the Packers sniffed it out, because I think it was Tooney or Dahlman went low, and I think there was going to be 1 or 2 Packers that might have come free. So it was, to me, I don't like that. I didn't like it at the moment. But it was a weird first half, man. The Bears had 3 possessions in the first half, and Green Bay had, I believe, 4, counting the last one, or 3 or 4. They got down in the red zone a lot. They were They were down there a lot. And credit to the Bears defense, yeah, it sucked. They were running the ball in the time of possession, but they held them to field goals and they kept them in the game. If they didn't hold them to field goals, this game's over. 100% this game's over. And they were worn down. Green Bay was controlling the clock. You could see what Green Bay wanted to do, even when Jordan Love was in there. And the Bears just kind of had to weather that storm, and it continued in the second half too. Up until that fourth quarter, the Bears were just struggling with possessions.
Yeah, the 4th and 1 stop on the Packers' first possession, the 2 field goals, the Josh Jacobs fumble, just everything. The Bears defense really never let up, which has been the MO for them. They do not let you score easily. Yeah. Which made, even like the Romeo Doubs touchdown a little tough to watch, and hopefully CJ Gardner-Johnson's knee injury isn't too terrible after getting caught up in the turf monster on that play, which, that he's been such an integral part of this defense being able to weather the storm with the injuries this year. It was a welcome sign to know that despite basically making every Bears fan out there feel so uneasy about how easily the Packers were moving the ball down the field, they shut things down in the end zone for the most part in that game last night. And, talking about the fact that the Bears really had 3 possessions in that first half, the time of possession, 38-57 to 26-13 in favor of the Packers. Just a sick ratio for what that was. And I tell you, you look down this entire stat line, the Bears 10 penalties for 105 yards. Just so many dumb penalties throughout the entire game. Jaquan Brisker, what are you doing, my man?
First play of the game.
QB. The first play of the game, jumping on a pile. What are you doing?
You can't do that. We didn't get a good replay. Was that ball out or was he down? Or they rule like forward progress?
I think they ruled forward progress.
Okay. They also ruled forward progress on the Luke Musgrave one, which was the ball was being ripped out. That was a little the same drive.
Yeah.
Remember that one? But yeah, 4 penalties for 15 yards each. They ended up with 105 penalty yards.
105 yards. Yep.
Brutal. That's to win a game like that. That's crazy. But yeah, that was from the first play. You're like, oh my God, bad mistake. They have great field position. And I guess, we could segue into this. Like, special teams played really good after that play. I think they had one more penalty on special teams. After that, Cairo Santos making all 3 of his kicks, 51-yarder into the wind. And then the onside, Josh Blackwell. Awesome.
I tell you, for as much grief as Cairo Santos has gotten this year, and I'll be honest, I have been a part of that, as have many other Bears fans, the way that he went about taking on that wind on those kicks was a thing of beauty. Like, it was an art form last night. Cairo Santos, the Bears don't win that game without what he was able to do in the kicking game last night. And for, all the struggles last year with the low trajectories and the blocked kicks, and what he's been able to do in this year, coming back and basically making a statement saying, I can do this. You need to trust me in these moments. I don't think he's getting enough credit for what he was able to do last night with the way that the wind was whipping around Soldier Field in what is known as one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult stadiums in the NFL to kick in. Just incredible stuff from Cairo Santos last night.
Yeah, were you kind of holding your breath a little bit when he lined up to kick a couple of those kicks?
Especially the 51-yarder. I'm like, they're doing this. What? They're actually doing this.
Yeah.
And
they got the penalty.
The 46-yarder or 43-yarder that set the stage for the onside kick. Even then, it's like, okay, they're kicking into the wind again. They missed this. It's over. Forget it. And
Yeah.
I had very little confidence heading into that because in the background, all you see are those orange flags just
Oh, dude.
straight horizontal, and the post just doing this. And I give him credit. They had it down to a T for what they needed to do.
He hit from 57 going in that direction in pregame, but the wind was not as bad in pregame. It started to swirl later on in the game, and you could see, I mean, from the south end zone, the north end zone, the flags were going 4 different ways. Each flag was going a different way. It was probably one of the windiest games I've ever been a part of is to watch. Besides, that Nathan Vasher one, in 2005 was crazy. But this one was wow. And I mean, they got the penalty, intentional grounding, and they had to come out and kick a 51-yarder. And I mean, I was holding my breath, but props to him. He was confident in the onside. He said he's got a couple different onside kicks he works on. One of them, like how he likes it, is like a little off the ground, but it couldn't do that there because of the wind. So you had to kind of place it different. And I don't know. I don't know what the Packers were doing. No one blocked anyone, and Jaden Reed took his eye off the ball. That was bizarre. I don't know, man. I feel like the Packers are going to make a change at special teams coordinator event. Like I feel like maybe not this week, but Biatcha might be gone. Like that. And that was crazy.
Well, it's funny because you saw something like that with the Rams, and they go and fire their special team coordinator Chase Blackburn after their Thursday night debacle that led to their big loss against Seattle. It shows how much of an impact special teams is having in the league again. This was a unit that, for all preparation intensive purposes, was kind of drained with the kickoff rule and the fact there were so few kickoffs being returned. The NFL changes things, and all of a sudden it is a make or break for so many teams across the league. And we've seen it for the Bears too, where they have looked awful and probably could have cost the Bears many of their wins this year with how poor they were in stopping the return. And for the knuckle balls that Cairo Santos has worked on the kickoffs to, like you said, the onside kicks and all the different ways the ball can spin, and then for that to occur, and I just don't understand how the Packers weren't ready for that with a hands team that you put your best receivers out there to get the ball in the biggest pivotal play of the game up to that point. And, Dobbs hurting his wrist in that obviously factored into that. We didn't see him the rest of the game following that. Again, just so many dominoes falling in a specific way for the Bears to take advantage.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I'm like, I went back and looked. I just cannot believe the Packers didn't block anyone on that. Like, I mean, I'm not complaining, but yeah, it just felt like once the Bears got that game tied up, or they got the onside kick, it just kind of felt like everything was falling into place for them. And again, man, memorable win, probably one of the most memorable outside of some NFC Championship games there, but like regular season wins, that one is up there just because of the stakes, what's on the line. And now, we're 17 minutes from kickoff. You got to root for the Steelers. You got to root for Aaron Rodgers. What is it? A Steelers win gets the Bears in the playoffs.
Yes.
If the Bears win one of their last two, no matter what, they win the North, right?
Correct. They have to win one of their next two. That is all they have to do. It is simple as that. And you want them to do it before, week 18 against the Lions, especially with the last, attempt, I guess you want to call it, that they had against the Lions. Not necessarily the most confident of opportunities for the Bears last go around, but it's full-blown root for the Steelers. That's what the Bears need to do today. I'm sure their eyes are glued, not having to worry about a game today. I is it weird I don't feel comfortable and they're 11-4?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, I don't know. Like going into that game, I'm like, if they lose to the Packers, I don't know, man. I could see them losing out. But like, I think they can beat the Lions at home. The 49ers is tough. But yeah, I mean, you still can't feel if Detroit wins. So the Bears are 2 seed right now, 11-4. Their current playoff probability is 94% according to NFL.com. The Packers are 78. The Lions are 41 if they win. If they lose, 6%. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. You still have the 49ers. You still have the Lions. That's 2 tough games. Because if the Bears lose out, they would need Green Bay to win out, right?
Yes.
And depending on what happens, Green Bay, if Jordan Love is hurt or not, they have the Ravens, right, in prime time next week.
Correct. And then the Vikings, who apparently all of a sudden look like they know what they're doing. But
I think you have to I think you have to I think it's gonna be the Ravens game. If they're gonna lose one, I think it'll be the Ravens. But because the Ravens have something to play for. I mean, they still have the division to play for.
That's true.
You kind of just hope the Ravens flip that switch this upcoming week and take care of business. But yeah, man, 11-4. Packers are 9-5. That tie really messes things up. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still uneasy. I'm still uneasy because like there is that chance.
Yeah, there definitely is that chance, and it. I don't know. Like 94%. Like you just wanted to say 100. Like that's all you want is for it to say 100%. And on the same side, like I cannot fathom winning 11 games and not making the playoffs. Like, has that ever occurred? Like that's my first question. Has that ever been something that's happened?
Was it? No.
It's this extra game, man. Like that's the problem. Is you factor in this extra game. Last night easily could have been for the division, but here we are. You know, people want more football. They want more games, and unfortunately, the Bears are kind of stuck in the middle of what has become such a competitive NFC picture. I need this uneasy feeling removed from this knot in my stomach because it just it's a tough 2 games for the Bears. The Niners and the Lions, like, come on, be somebody easier, please.
Well, week 1, if they would have won week 1, they would have clinched. They would have clinched the division already if they would have won week 1. No, last year the Seahawks had 10 wins. They were 10-7. They missed out on the tiebreaker in the NFC West. But again, look at it's the same thing as last year. You had an 11-win Packer team, 14-win Viking team, 15-win Lion team, 14-win Eagle team, 12-win Commander team, all get in. It's gonna be the same thing this year. I mean, if the Lions went out, let's say the Bears beat the 49ers, right? Okay. And the 49ers win today, and the 49ers go 2-1. They'll be 12-5. And the Bears win, they'll be 12-5, right? If they lose to the Lions. But the Bears will be in. Right. The Lions would have 10 wins and they'd be out. They'd be 10-7. So
correct.
Yeah. I don't know. Or if the Lions went out, they'll have 11 wins. So someone is going to be, there's a chance someone is going to be
really upset.
Yeah.
that's more or less the picture. You just hope for losses at this point. That's really all you can do. And even with today, and I wonder, because I truly didn't do a ton of hunting around on this, but what the Packers are feeling right now too, knowing that they are 9-5-1, they are if the Lions win today, a half game ahead of the Lions with 2 to play, and all the injuries that they're facing as well, you have to imagine they're kind of clenching a little bit too, to wondering what their team is even going to look like next week against the Ravens, who are in a battle of their own to make the playoffs. That's going to be a very good game next week. That has a lot of ramifications as well, where the Packers could be the team that falls out of the picture if things fall a certain way.
Yeah, that's probably more unlikely, right? Though, like that, they'd have to lose out, right? Or no? I don't know. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's all a mess. It truly is all a mess.
Yeah. Well, we need you need the Ravens to win tonight.
You do. You 100% do, and it is one of those things where you just hope things move in a certain way that just get the Bears across the line, and then the playoffs, obviously a whole nother game. If the Bears come out and do anything like they did last night, they're not going to win the playoffs. They just aren't.
No. I think they could beat the 49ers. I think it'll be a good game. I think they could win. I think they could win each of these games. I also think they could lose. You know what I mean? I think they could lose. I mean, it's kind of cliche to say, but yeah, we'll leave it at that though. Go Ravens, go Steelers. How about that?
Go Ravens, go Steelers. Hope for the best and see what they can do to make things happen here in week 17, San Francisco Sunday Night Football. How about that? A house of horrors for the Bears as of late out in San Francisco, and you just hope that things are not going to be the same in that regard come next Sunday night. We'll see. I think we're all feeling pretty darn good that we can enjoy a relaxing Sunday. Things are, eased on in, and hope for the best. Bears 11-4, standing atop the NFC North, a 1.5 lead over the Green Bay Packers. We'll see where the rest of the division shakes up following today's games. But that's going to do it here for this episode of the Bear Report podcast. Thank you for all tuning in. We'll be back to preview 49ers and Bears later this week. And then we'll be celebrating holidays and everything else. So enjoy the rest of the weekend. The Victory Sunday, the rare Victory Sunday for the Chicago Bears and Bears fandom. And hopefully we'll be talking about a playoff picture and a playoff clinching scenario here, and 100% for the Bears very, very soon as well. Take care, everybody. Good for the Bears!